In the world of cybersecurity, attacks aren't just technical problems. They're high-speed dogfights. Today, we're talking about how to win them with a battle-tested guide to incident response. So let's just jump right in. Picture this. You're an F-15 pilot, and you are locked in a high-speed dogfight. Every single decision has to be made in a fraction of a second. Success, failure, it all hangs in the balance. It is the ultimate high-pressure environment you could imagine.
And that exact feeling, that intense, split-second pressure, that is precisely what a security team feels when a major cyber attack hits. We call this incident response, or IR. And let's be clear, in this field, it's never about if an attack will happen, it's always about when.
So that brings us to the big question, right? When you're in the thick of it, when you are actively under attack, how do you make the right moves at the right time to actually win that fight?
Well, the answer isn't some brand new complex piece of tech. It's a battle-tested game plan, a mental strategy designed specifically for chaos. It's called the OODA loop.
Yeah, this whole framework was actually developed by a real-life fighter pilot, U.S. Air Force Colonel John Boyd. He created it to give pilots a way to make faster, better decisions than their opponents. And in cybersecurity, getting ahead of your adversary, well, that's the entire game. And here it is, the OODA loop. It's a continuous cycle of 4 stages: observe, orient, decide, and act. The goal is super simple. You have to cycle through this loop faster and more effectively than your attacker. So let's break down each step.
Okay, first up, observe. This is all about gathering intelligence from the digital battlefield because, you can't fight what you can't see. So the whole point of the observe stage is constant monitoring. Your security team is watching everything in your computing environment, looking for any little blip on the radar that could signal an attack, and collecting every single piece of data they can find.
And how do they do this? With a whole arsenal of tools. We're talking about SIEM systems, that's security information and event management, which pull in data from all over. Then you've got deep log analysis, intrusion detection systems, vulnerability scanners. Each one of these tools gives you a different piece of the puzzle. And take a look at this. It's a great example of log analysis in action. You're taking these huge, messy piles of raw system data and turning them into something you can actually use, real, actionable insights. This is how you spot something weird, like a user logging in at 3 a.m. from a country you don't do business in. But just seeing the threat? That's only the first step. You can't just sit on that data. Now it's time to respond. And that brings us to the next 3 crucial stages of the loop: orient, decide, and act. This is where you turn all that observation into action. First up, orient. And honestly, this might be the most important step of them all. This is where you take all that raw data you just gathered and you make sense of it. You're not just seeing an alert. You're trying to understand what it actually means for your company. What's the attacker after? What's really at risk here? This slide just nails the core of the orient phase, incident triage. It's just like in a hospital emergency room. You have to quickly verify if the threat is real, figure out how bad it is, and then prioritize what needs to be fixed first. Is this a minor cut, or is this a critical, all-hands-on-deck emergency? Okay, so once you're oriented to what's going on, it is time to decide. This is the moment of truth. Based on everything you've seen and analyzed, the team has to pick the best way forward. And this isn't some wild guess, it's a calculated decision. Good decisions in a crisis don't just happen in a vacuum. They're guided by a really clear hierarchy of documents. And this pyramid shows it perfectly. You've got the high-level company policy at the top, the why, all the way down to the super specific technical procedures at the bottom, the how. This structure makes sure your decisions are consistent and effective. And finally, you act. This is it. This is where you execute that decision with speed and precision. First up, containment. You got to isolate the affected systems to stop the bleeding. Then recovery. Bring everything back online from clean backups. While that's going on, you kick off forensic analysis to figure out exactly what happened. And finally, you patch the vulnerability so this can't happen again. And then the loop starts all over. You're back to observing. Now, cycling through that OODA loop is absolutely critical. But the best pilots and the best security teams, they don't make this stuff up on the fly. They win because they prepared. And for incident response, that preparation is called the playbook. It's a really simple but powerful analogy. No pilot takes off without a flight plan, and absolutely no security team should ever face an attack without an incident response playbook.
This is your pre-written plan for how to handle specific threats. This slide perfectly captures why a playbook is so vital. On the left, you see the chaos of what happens without one. Unclear processes, people don't know the threats. But on the right, you see the solution. The playbook provides that clear framework. It defines everyone's roles, and it gives you a solid process from start to finish.
So a good playbook isn't just some document sitting on a shelf. It's a tool that gets you ready. It makes sure everyone knows who's supposed to do what. It guarantees every incident is handled with the same consistent process. And maybe most importantly, it helps everyone understand the threats before they even hit. Now, all of these concepts, the OODA loop, the playbooks, they all have to be applied to the modern battlefield. And today, that battlefield, more often than not, is in the cloud. And let me tell you, responding to an incident in the cloud is a completely different beast. When your servers are on-premise, you control everything. In the cloud, it's a shared responsibility with your provider. That neat network perimeter you used to have, it's gone, replaced by a dispersed virtual setup. This adds so many new layers of complexity. And this brings us to what is a non-negotiable reality of modern IR. You cannot go it alone in the cloud. Your incident response plan must treat your cloud service provider, your CSP, as a critical partner. You need their tools, their visibility, and their expertise baked into your plan from day one.
So we'll end with this question. Imagine a major cyber attack hits your organization. 5 minutes from now. Is your team ready for the dogfight? Do you have a playbook ready to go, or are you going to be scrambling to make it all up as you go? Because the answer to that question could be the difference between winning and losing the fight.